Welcome back there, buds. So it is the 12th of December 2019. One of my best friends contacted me and he said, could you help me make some Christmas presents for my family? So we took a chainsaw. There's an old apple tree in his parents' backyard that his grandfather planted a very long time ago. So it's all dead and rotting away and everything, so we took a chainsaw out there and we cut off a big hunk of it and then we sliced it down, and then what we were left with is this beautiful expalted, apple wood. So the plan here is I'm going to cut these up and I'm going to make 4 wooden cooking spoons because his family is from like an Italian ethnicity and they love their cooking. So what better way to remember his grandfather and everyone, and they could just use cooking spoons that were made from a tree from their backyard that their grandfather planted. And hopefully all goes as planned and I can get these 4 out of here. Maybe even make something else. We'll see. So the first thing I'm trying to do here is just make this piece a little bit more manageable. This is the thicker one I think I'm going to use. So I just wanted to square up one of the ends. When I cut through that grain, that end grain is crazy. So I should be able to get some pretty good looking stuff out of this. And it is wet, still good, nice and easy to carve and work with. Now I'm just going to take it over here to the bandsaw and try to rip a couple pieces off of it. Now that I have all 4 of these blanks kind of roughed up, you can see how wet they are, and it's already starting to dry on the outside, and that's how you're going to get cracking. So I have to work fast. I'm going to just cut out a blank, and I'm going to get these, I'm going to wet them down a little bit, and then I'm going to put them, all 4 of these, in a bag and let it dry for a couple days. Keep checking on it, maybe keep wetting it. The trick to not having any cracking on that wood is just to keep the outside wet, because the inside's so wet that when the outside starts to dry before the inside, that's how you start to get cracks. So I have to get this to dry out evenly over the next few days, and it's really wet right now, and I hate to just carve it all. It's the easiest to carve when it's super wet like this, but it's also pretty difficult because I don't want to carve out, get the final product, put it in a bag to dry, and then check it in a couple days and it's cracked. At least if I just take out the blanks on the bandsaw, let them dry a few days, dry out a little more evenly, they'll still be wet enough, they'll be easy to carve, and then I'll take it from there. But now I'm just gonna test this one out, get the blank cut out on the bandsaw, and then do the other 3. Now that I have this one cut out, I'm just going to take it onto this other blank trace it onto here. Get that one cut out now. So after I got these two blanks cut out, kind of looking at them thinking, you know, that's pretty thick. So, got a spoon to compare it. I mean, that is definitely less than half of that thickness. I think what I might just do, since I need to make 4 of them, I could just save these blanks for a rainy day. Then I'm just gonna rip these two right down the middle. And I might even just rough them up just a little bit more before I get them in a bag to finish drying. But I also think the less wood there is, you know, the quicker it will dry it from the inside out. I think it would dry more evenly being smaller. So I'm just going to rip these both down, get 4 out of these too. Alright there, buds. Well, those are still give me plenty of room to work with. I'm going to get these, just going to wet them a little bit. I mean, the only place is, it's always the end grain that's going to crack, so got to worry about down here and at the bottom. So I'm going to leave them long, and then I'll trim the handles down, maybe just a little bit if there is any cracking. And then I also made that spoon, you know, just a little long on the end in case I do get any cracking. But I'm going to go ahead, wet these up, get them in a bag, let them sit a couple days and check on them again. And then we'll do the carving. I've had these spoons, and what I did is I sprayed them just a little bit of water. Keep the outside of it wet, so, you know, to prevent the cracking. And what I did with the 4, I wrapped them up. After I sprayed them, I just wrapped them up here in this old shirt, and you can still feel it's just a little damp when I put it in this bag. And it's maybe only been about 3 or 4 days now, and I can tell how much it's already dried out. And the wood is like, it's getting really dry now. But no cracking, we're looking good, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and maybe just give these good rough carving. And then I'll probably sand them a little bit after I carve them up. And then quick coat of oil and they're done. I took that over to the old stationary belt sander and just kind of got it all rounded off with that. This would just take me all day. Make some quick work of that. Looks good. I'm just going to carve out that spoon area. Just clean up a couple little spots and just sand it down. Re-wet the outside and then give it another couple days in the bag to dry out evenly. Then it'll be ready for some oil. Well, here's one all carved up. Pretty good. So what I'll do now is just wet the outside a little bit again, and and then wrap it back up in that shirt, put it back in the bag, and then you know, carve the next few out over the next couple days and let them dry out over the week, and just do a quick finish sand and oil. They're done. Well, here are the 4 spoons, dried out for a week or so slowly, and now I got them sanded down to 150, then to 220. They're nice and smooth. I'm going to put the first coat of oil on. For the first coat, I always put it on pretty good, and then I don't even wipe it off. I just let it sit. I'll let these sit overnight, and tomorrow come back. They should have dried out a little bit, and I'll just hit them again with a little bit of 220. Give them another good coat. Let them dry. Maybe hit them one more time.